Damon Fryer, a popular YouTuber and supercar enthusiast, was pulled over by the police in Beverly Hills, California in the month of May 2018. This meeting became noteworthy as a result of the ensuing activities and exchanges that took place between Fryer and the officer after it took place. What all took place? Let's investigate this matter further.
You have your registration and insurance?
Yeah.
What brings you to California now?
During the encounter, the Beverly Hills police officer initiated the interaction by requesting Damon Fryer's driver's license, registration, and insurance. This is a standard procedure during traffic stops to verify the legality and validity of a driver's documents.
I live here. I give you Canadian driver's
So that's
license.
exactly what I'm trying to figure out. You're giving me smart answers, but I'm trying to get to the bottom of something.
It's not a smart answer.
It
I
kinda
don't.
is.
You're not customs. I don't need to explain to you why I'm here.
Okay, so you need a California driver's license to drive in California.
Fryer complied with the officer's request and handed over his driver's license, registration, and insurance information.
International driver's license?
Excuse me?
You have your international driver's license?
You're a cop. You should know I don't need that. I'm a Canadian citizen. You have a treaty with us. I'm going to exit the vehicle to get my passport.
What is that?
During the interaction, the officer raised questions about Damon Fryer's presence in California and his Canadian driver's license. The officer's questioning aimed to determine whether Fryer was a resident of California or merely a visitor.
What are you about to say?
Stop saying you just ran.
I didn't run a stop sign.
Just saw you.
Which one?
Lamita, sit down.
Which one?
I just told you. You're so busy asking me questions. You're not listening to my answers. I said the one on Lamitas.
I didn't run any stop sign. I have everything on camera.
Fryer explained that he was a Canadian citizen and represented his Canadian driver's license as proof of his driving credentials. He asserted that as a non-resident, he was not obligated to obtain a California driver's license and that his Canadian license was sufficient for driving legally in the state.
I said the one on Lamitas.
I didn't run any stop sign. I have everything on camera.
Okay, that's fine. So do I.
Pardon?
I said so do I.
Sure.
Stay in the car, don't get out, man.
No, I won't. Wow. International driver's license.
Fryer explained he didn't need a California driver's license as a Canadian citizen and showed his passport. The officer insisted that Fryer needed a California driver's license and an international driver's license, which Fryer disputed, and pointed out that Canada and the United States have a treaty in place that allows Canadian drivers to operate vehicles in the U.S. without the need for an international driver's license. He argued that his Canadian driver's license, being a valid and recognized document, provided the necessary authorization for him to drive in California, and he moved out of his car.
How you doing?
Great, how are you?
Awesome, man. I'm allowed to film you.
I didn't say you weren't.
I don't know why you're shining the light on my camera then.
I'm just making sure I can see inside the car.
And is 11 out on the footbeat?
Well, you don't need to do that by following the
You're
camera.
very defensive, sir. Why is that?
Because you pull me over and you don't know what for.
The other officer was standing at the other door and asked Fryer how he was doing, to which Fryer replied nicely that he was doing amazing. Fryer also mentioned that he is filming the officers and they can't stop that, to which the officer said he was not even saying anything to that, but was flashing the flashlight in front of the camera so that the officer's face was not visible.
I told you what for. Look at your camera. You'll be able to see what for.
I didn't do anything though. You lied about the stop sign,
I didn't
and you
lie.
don't understand what
Just
exhaust
take a
is on
look.
my car.
Here you go.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay.
The officer asked why the guy looked so defensive, to which Fryer replied that he has been pulled over for nothing, to which the police said check your camera to see what you have done, where Fryer said it's nothing there. Also accused the police officer of lying about the stop sign as there weren't any and there's no exhaust in his car.
Modified exhaust, right? One.
Yeah.
You're not having a California driver's license.
I don't need a California driver's license.
Okay. So can you sign here, please?
And if I don't?
I have to take you to jail.
Really?
Yeah.
The officer proceeded to issue citations to Damon Fryer for 2 alleged violations: the absence of a California driver's license and the presence of a modified exhaust on his car. These citations mark the culmination of the interaction between Fryer and the officer, reflecting their differing perspectives on compliance with the law. Regarding the first citation, the officer asserted that Fryer was required to possess a valid driver's license issued by the state of California in order to legally operate a motor vehicle within its jurisdiction. Fryer refused to sign the paper which the officer was asking for, to which the police said he'll be behind bars because of that.
Is that part of the, not having a driver's license thing too?
California. So like I said, it's not an admission of guilt. just promising you'll take care of the citation. So with that being said, your car is subject to tow.
What?
Why? Because you're driving your own license in California.
I can do that.
No, you can't.
Yeah, I can. I have a Canadian driver's license. It's not illegal to drive here with that.
The moment Damon Fryer put his signature on the document, the police informed him that his vehicle would be impounded since he did not possess the appropriate license for the state of California. In addition to issuing citations for Damon Fryer for not having a California driver's license and for the modified exhaust on his car, the officer took his response to a more concerning level. The officer, perhaps frustrated by the disagreement and Fryer's persistence in his stance, resorted to making a threat regarding Fryer's vehicle. In a display of authority, the officer went as far as to threaten Fryer with the possibility of having his car towed if he was spotted driving it again. Typically, the decision to tow a vehicle is contingent upon scientific circumstances, such as when the vehicle poses a safety hazard, is involved in criminal activity, or when it is in violation of parking regulations. In this case, the officer's threat appeared to be an inappropriate escalation of their authority, as it was not supported by the violations Fryer had been cited for. Fryer, being aware of his rights as a motorist, could have questioned the officer's ability to carry out such a threat. If Fryer believed the officer's action to be unjustified, he could have requested clarification or brought attention to the officer's lack of legal grounds to tow his car. Feeling aggrieved and determined to address the situation, he left his car behind and sought advice from his friends and other people he trusted. Discussing the incident with his friends and seeking their input provided Fryer with valuable perspectives and guidance.
So
You're
that's
just
the
playing
way you feel
hardball.
about
It's
it.
all good, dude.
Okay, so like I said, if I see you again, I will tow your car, sir.
Yeah.
Okay? You have yourself a good night.
Yeah, you too, man.
Thank you.
Empowered by the advice he received, Fryer made the decision to confront the issue head-on. Arriving at the police station, Fryer took the initiative to speak with someone in authority about the unjust threat made by the officer.
Okay, so tell me,
I'm going to record this. That's cool.
it's already recorded.
No,
24/7.
For myself.
Okay.
Thanks.
Do whatever you want.
Yeah.
So what documentation do you have, like as far as your ID or license or?
Fryer decided to take action and file a complaint against the officer. Recognizing that he had been subjected to an unjustified threat and concerned about the officer's abuse of power, Fryer sought to hold the officer accountable for their actions. After leaving the police station without any further problems, Fryer proceeded to the relevant authorities in order to formally lodge his complaint.
A foreign issued driver's license.
I'm
You
not a
can drive.
resident.
No, I'm just saying
Oh,
they
okay.
can drive,
All
right?
right, yeah.
So you got a citation for something you should not have received.
Correct.
That's item one.
And then the threat to take my vehicle away from me based on that citation, which doesn't exist.
Okay, so the good news is that did not happen. You have your car.
The officer's behavior during the encounter with Damon Fryer revealed a troubling lack of understanding regarding license requirements and an improper display of authority. In addition to issuing citations for not having a California driver's license and a modified exhaust on Fryer's car, the officer went further and threatened actions that he did not possess the illegal authority to carry out. He got an F for that.
The international, Canadian, U.S. driving, whatever the legal jargon is, that I can drive on this license.
Right.
And I'm not to have my vehicle towed if he sees me around Beverly Hills again.
Okay.
Firstly, the officer's lack of understanding regarding license requirements became apparent when he insisted that Fryer needed both a California driver's license and an international one. In September 2014, a concerning incident unfolded during a police accountability march in Lynn, Massachusetts, shedding light on officers allegedly breaking the law while being captured on camera. The incident was documented by Ms. Bay, the founder of the Bay State Examiner, an independent media source focused on police interactions and accountability. While attending the march, Ms. Bay noticed an undercover police officer trailing the protest in an unmarked vehicle. Seeking accountability, she approached the officer to request his name and badge number. In a startling turn of events, the officer reportedly hit her with his vehicle.
Howdy. Sorry to bother again. Oh, hey.
Can I have your IDs?
Uh,
You guys are fine, right? Quality of IDs. Pardon me? I need quality of IDs.
What's the lawful reason for the request?
Because you're on private property. Okay, yeah.
I'm on private property and you get to see my...
In the back lot.
You were on private property, you asked to leave, you took your time. I need your IDs.
IDs?
can I have yours?
I don't have one on me.
No, okay.
Well, go to the chief.
We are.
Sure.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah. Can we speak to the chief? This officer has invited us to speak with him.
This incident prompted Miss Bay to take matters into her own hands. Days later, Miss Bay ventured to the Lynn Police Station's back lot in pursuit of evidence regarding the vehicle that had allegedly struck her. Her efforts were met with resistance from an unidentified officer who swiftly expelled her from the premises. Undeterred, she entered the police department building to file a formal complaint about the incident and to seek officer identifications. The encounter within the police station would go on to raise a myriad of legal and ethical concerns. The situation escalated when the officers on duty refused to identify themselves and labeled Miss Bay's presence as trespassing on private property. Massachusetts law, however, stipulates that police officers are required to carry identification cards and display them upon a lawful request. This refusal constituted a violation of this legal obligation.
You're welcome
What
to come
sense?
back there and take a look after.
Okay. Oh, after? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, we need your IDs now.
I'm not interested in showing that at this
No?
I'm not. Yeah.
All right, so you guys are refusing? All right, then we'll just leave. You can go. Do we want to check the...
Yeah, I was gonna say, you've invited us to speak with the
chief's
chief.
a busy guy.
Oh.
You just suggested we talk to the chief.
Well,
I don't know if he's I guess apparently he's not...
I'm sorry, what's...
He just told you to do that, right?
No, you told us to talk to the chief.
Yeah, and you came around here and he's not coming down here.
Oh, right.
So maybe you should call him
Call
and
the
make an appointment with him.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay. We can do that.
And may I have both of your names and ID cards?
That's
Badge 88.
Badge 88?
Yep.
The officers ordered Miss Bay to vacate the premises, accusing her of creating a disturbance and trespassing. In response, she asserted her right to continue recording for news-gathering purposes. A crucial distinction emerged. While Massachusetts acknowledges the right to record police, this right is not absolute and must adhere to reasonable time, place, and manner restrictions that safeguard officer safety, informants, and victims. The incident also underscored the nuanced relationship between the First Amendment and trespassing laws. While Miss Bay's intent to file a complaint justified her presence to some extent, officers claimed she was trespassing and sought to remove her from the building. Legal precedents highlighted the complexity of these issues, including the right to record police versus the limitations imposed on such activities within police stations.
Not with you. Who do I make a complaint with?
The chief's the best guy.
The chief's the best guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So make an appointment.
Okay.
What's up with that? What is it that you're looking for?
Well, I found the car that hit me on Friday. I was reporting it earlier. It's out back.
Okay, and what are you doing going in private property videotaping police cars?
What private property?
The property that's parked out back there posted is no trespassing, authorized personnel only.
I didn't see that.
Well, it's posted all over the entrances to that parking lot.
Interesting.
It is interesting, but it is also posted.
Okay.
You're subject to arrest for going back into private property.
Am I being
Videotaping
arrested?
police cars. Huh?
Am I being
I
arrested?
said you are subject to arrest.
Okay.
Despite these legal complexities, officers' conduct raised questions about their intentions and commitment to accountability. Their refusal to take Ms. Bay's claims seriously and their hindrance of her ability to file a complaint cast doubts on their willingness to engage transparently with civilian concerns. The encounter raised concerns about the potential misuse of laws to deter individuals from lodging complaints against law enforcement officers. In the aftermath of the incident, Ms. Bay submitted a Freedom of Information Act request to the Lynn's Record Department.
The officer in charge will be up with you when he gets a second.
Okay.
Talk to you and get your complaint.
Well, somebody does need to tell
Okay.
him that that's what's going
Well,
on.
if he's
because
already done that, then your complaint has been filed and documented.
There's information that he literally doesn't have because I didn't have it until right now. When I went back, I found the car. So I would like to tell him that the car is back there, that it's been repaired, even though they didn't report it, I guess. Well, you know what, actually, I'm filming this for news gathering purposes at this point.
Yet her efforts were met with resistance, and it remains uncertain whether the department ever responded to her request. Her documentation of the event and her subsequent efforts to highlight the challenges faced by citizens seeking accountability and transparency within law enforcement agencies. Now let's move on to the next investigation. In a noteworthy incident that unfolded on June 5, 2015, the spotlight fell on Michael Hoffman, a private investigator and an advocate for the First Amendment. The scenario took place in Jacksonville, Florida, as Hoffman engaged in conducting surveillance as part of a case. His objective was to track down an individual's movements and actions across multiple locations. However, the situation took an unexpected turn when the person under surveillance alleged that Hoffman was stalking her.
Investigator of some sort?
Can I ask why you pulled me over, sir?
I pulled you over because the young ladies came over there and said you've been following her since she left the airport yesterday. So I want to know who you are.
Have I committed a crime?
No, but I'm conducting an investigation. Have you been following that young lady? I mean, if you're an investigator, investigate what? But if you're somebody harassing her or stalking her, that's against the law. Me pulling you over to find out who you are is me doing my job.
Am I free to go?
No, you are not. Not until I find out who you are. I'm conducting an investigation. Do you have your driver's license, registration, proof of insurance on you?
Have you pulled me for a traffic violation, sir?
No, sir. I've already explained that to you. Now, you can play the back and forth rigmarole.
This accusation prompted a response from law enforcement, specifically an officer from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. The encounter between Hoffman and the officer was marked by a clash of rights and principles. As the officer initiated a traffic stop, the interaction was captured on camera and later disseminated on the Awakening the Masses YouTube channel. The video depicted the exchange as the officer sought to ascertain the veracity of the stalking claim. He engaged Hoffman in conversation, asking about his identity, purpose, and whether he was an investigator. Hoffman's response was calculated and assertive. He began by asking the officer the reason for pulling him over, which initiated a dialogue regarding the stalking allegation. The officer cited the complainant's assertion that Hoffman had been tailing her since previous day. Despite Hoffman's protestations, the officer deemed it necessary to investigate the matter. He explained that his actions were guided by the need to ascertain whether Hoffman was involved in harassing or stalking behavior, which is legally prohibited.
Oh, tell him to come up here. We're at the 8100 block of Arlington Express.
I don't answer questions, Deputy.
You don't answer questions. You just stalk young ladies. Just stand by this. Stand by.
Your name and badge number, Deputy? Your name and badge number, Deputy?
Hey, buddy, what's going on?
Name and badge number, sir?
Simpson 66190.
Masinsin, M-A-S-I-N-S-I-N. So I'd like to know why I'm being detained.
No, someone's saying that you're claiming you're stalking them. Are you an investigator or anything?
Okay, let me make this clear, sir. I would like for you to articulate what crime you...
The crux of the disagreement hinged on the rights invoked by Hoffman. When the officer requested identification, Hoffman invoked his Fifth Amendment rights, a constitutional privilege against self-incrimination. This assertion caused a pivotal shift in the interaction, as Hoffman insisted he would only speak in the presence of legal counsel. The officer, seemingly perplexed by this response, requested that Hoffman bring his attorney to the scene for further questioning. Hoffman's stance was rooted in legal principles. He argued that during a Terry stop, law enforcement could pose a limited number of questions to establish identity and to determine if any suspicions were valid. However, Hoffman remained steadfast in asserting that he was under no obligation to answer questions without the presence of legal representation, especially considering the potential implications of his responses. The officer's actions were grounded in the assumption that a stalking accusation, combined with a corroborated vehicle description, constituted reasonable suspicion for a stop and investigation. This view aligned with legal precedent, exemplified by the 2002 case of United States v. Sokolow, which allows law enforcement to act on a tip if it bears indicia of reliability. The Supreme Court has ruled that reasonable suspicion necessitates a particularized and objective basis for suspecting wrongdoing. Despite the differing interpretations, the encounter eventually concluded with the officer permitting Hoffman to leave. The tension between rights and responsibilities underscored the complexity of police-citizen interactions.
Some professional courtesy and treat me with the respect I deserve. What is your name and badge number?
Well, sir, I gave you mine. 0051.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Deputy. Was that so hard?
No.
The law states I don't have to give my name and information unless you suspect me of committing a crime.
You don't.
Then am I free to go? Because this is an illegal detainment.
At this time.
This is an illegal detainment.
But like I said, your criminal matches the description we were given.
I respect that.
Doesn't mean
I respect
you're guilty.
That. I respect that. You're talking to an ex-law enforcement officer, buddy. Now, I understand you're doing no fault with that. You are doing your job.
Okay.
And the mere fact that I'm exercising my legal rights does not make...
Shedding light on the importance of understanding legal rights during such encounters. Hoffman's case emphasized that individuals have the right to remain silent and request legal counsel during a Terry stop, while officers must balance their duty to investigate with the requirement to respect constitutional rights. The incident became a case study in navigating the delicate balance between law enforcement's duty to investigate and an individual's rights to privacy and legal protection. As the video disseminated, it sparked discussions about the scope of police authority during stops, the validity of accusations, and the intricacies of the Fifth Amendment privilege against self-incrimination. Michael Hoffman's assertiveness in upholding his rights and the officer's attempts to fulfill his duty encapsulated a pivotal moment in the ongoing dialogue about law enforcement practices and individual freedoms. Now let's take a look at the next investigation. In April 2020, a situation involving Keelan Hill and Denver police officers unfolded after a minor traffic incident on Interstate 25 in Colorado. The incident escalated into legal disputes, allegations of rights violations, and concerns over police conduct. The episode began when Keelan Hill, age 25, called 911 after a minor collision with two other drivers. Officer Thomas Ludwig of the Denver Police Department arrived at the scene and initiated discussions with the other individuals involved while Hill was being evaluated by paramedics inside an ambulance. The situation took a turn when Hill exited the ambulance and noticed Officer Ludwig searching his vehicle without consent.
What are you doing? Stepping to me? Huh? What the f*** is in my face? What do you think so, dude? What is this?
What are you stopping the cops for, man?
I did not ask you to get
No,
out of my car.
I watched you. I got you on my video camera.
I asked you to get out of my car. That's it.
You're being an asshole to everybody.
I'm not.
Yes, you are.
Sir, thank you. Oh. That's it. Right to work, brother. Ow. I'm trying to get up. You money? What did happen? No, I come out here too, huh? Wow.
On probation, I'm sure.
I'm not on
The
probation.
probation officer's gonna love that.
I'm not on probation at all.
The officer claimed he detected the odor of marijuana, implying that this gave him the authority to conduct the search. The legality of such searches based on marijuana odor varies across states, and in Colorado, where recreational marijuana is legal, the odor can contribute to probable cause for a search. However, legal nuances exist. Hill confronted Officer Ludwig about the search, leading to a heated argument. The officer's aggressive response escalated the tension instead of employing de-escalation techniques. While Hill's behavior might have prompted concern, it's questionable whether it warranted the officer's level of aggression. Hill was arrested and charged with interference with police activity. These charges were later dropped, but the incident spurred Hill to file a lawsuit against the city of Denver and the involved officers.
I'm not intoxicated at all.
Go ahead and have a seat in there.
Go for it. Please go for it.
Okay, have a seat.
Y'all are illegally searching my car.
Have a seat. Have a seat. Put your feet up.
Bro.
Push yourself all the way back.
He alleged violations of his First and Fourth Amendment rights and claimed damages, including missing a master's degree final exam due to his incarceration. Critiques of the officer's conduct centered on several points. Firstly, despite the possible legality of the initial search, the decision to arrest Hill was deemed unnecessary and potentially unconstitutional. Officer Ludwig's unprofessional behavior, particularly his failure to de-escalate the situation, garnered criticism. His confrontational approach escalated the disagreement rather than diffusing it, highlighting the significance of emotional awareness in police interactions. Moreover, the officers faced criticism for their response to Hill's request for medical assistance. According to the Denver Police Department's Operation Manual, officers are required to provide medical attention to individuals in custody. Hill's expression of uncertainty about his injury should have prompted a more compassionate response from the officers, as opposed to the callous indifference displayed. This incident underscores the complexities of police interactions and the importance of effective de-escalation techniques. While the legality of certain actions can be ambiguous, officers should prioritize public safety and citizens' rights. Emotions and situational awareness play crucial roles in determining the outcome of such encounters.